Na mtazamaji, sasa nataka nikupeleke moja kwa moja kule katika ukumbi wa Bomas ambapo mazungumzo ya kitaifa inayofanywa na kamati inayoshughulikia swala hilo sasa hivi wamepata kupatana na mawaziri wa serikali ya Kenya Kwanza kule katika ukumbi wa Bomas, na sasa naarifiwa kwamba waziri wa fedha Njuguna Ndung'u ndio anatoa taarifa yake sasa hivi.
That drive the cost of living. First is to understand that the cost of living is actually measured through the Consumer Price Index, and it is reported every month by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. And the cost of living and the Consumer Price Index is actually used to measure inflation by tracking the changes of the prices by the consumers in the targeted basket of goods and services over time. Inside that basket, there are tradable goods. Inside that basket, there are non-tradable goods. I'll come back to that to try and explain what is happening in the two categories of tradable goods and the non-tradable goods. They have different effects, especially when it comes to nominal exchange rate movements. And even before I leave that, the non-tradable goods will drive the real exchange rate, while the tradable prices will mimic the exchange rate movements. Honorable Chair, co-chairs, as you may be aware, inflation rate has remained above the government range of 5.25, let's say 5% and 2% radius or diversion from both sides. That is 7.5% and 2.5%. That range, above that range means, especially a high, it means that inflation is high. It's in a regime of high inflation. And this is from June 2022 to June 2023. And that means that you can actually argue that the cost of living was high during that period. The policy range is well defined between around 5% and 2% on the other side. And we do believe that when it is below the 2.5%, we believe that it's deflation. And when it's above, it's high inflation, above 7.5%. And this is mainly as a result of commodity prices, especially food and fuel. And this has come due to multiple shocks. And so many people have talked about those multiple shocks. The biggest problem of shocks is that, especially from the supply side, is that we don't have solutions from the supply side. You have to bring back the supplies. But if you don't have the supplies, then you also have to take measures to bring to reduce the price level. And those measures sometimes, or most of the times, when it's purely supply side effects, they induce the economy into a recession. And you can imagine a combination of recession and inflation is what we used to call it stagflation. Let me give you an example. If food prices are rising because there is no food, the only solution is to bring food into the market. Otherwise, prices will continue rising. If you're constrained by using the demand side tool, that is, you tighten monetary policy, what you are doing is that you are actually trying to dislodge the plateau of high prices in future, but otherwise you have not solved the scarcity value problem. So we have a scarcity problem. And we have so many people have repeated the crisis we have gone through. It's a layer of multiple crises. In fact, what I actually argue that you have crises that are persistent. Most of the time we believe that.
Naam, huyo ni waziri wa fedha Njuguna Ndung'u ambaye amefika mbele ya kamati ya mazungumzo ya kitaifa sasa hivi. Mtazamaji, taarifa hiyo tutakuwa wenye kuletea hapo baadaye, taarifa ya kina kuhusiana na mazungumzo ya kitaifa inayoendelea katika ukumbi wa Bomas.